All right. I want us to dive into my strategy for this afternoon. This is all that I'm going to be teaching you, and my strategy is very simple and straightforward. Very, very simple and straightforward. That is it. It is as simple as that. You know, the best thing on this earth is to keep everything simple. That is kiss. Just kiss it. You know, just kiss it. Keep it simple, stupid. So we are keeping it simple. So if you are looking at my strategy and how I trade, it is very, very simple. Very, very, very simple. So this is what I do. You see the structure, liquidity, and imbalance. That is all that I need to have a better trading. Structure, number one, we look for liquidity, then we look for imbalance. So these are the things that I look for when I am about to take a trade. So with that much being said, let's see the tools that I use. These are the tools that I use. What is it called? The templates that I use for my trading. As you can see, I have the swing strong, swing weak, and all these things will be taught later in the upcoming videos. But for now, just look at them and see. This is the only thing that I use, and moreover, I trade smart money concept. Smart money concept. So I don't use any other indicator apart from these ones that I have here with you right now. So this is very, very simple. The next thing I want us to look at is the strategy. How is my strategy done? That is what I want us to look at right now. So let's see. This is very simple. I work with just the current situation. The current situation. After looking at the big picture and everything, I come down to the current situation, and that is where I take my trade. So, for instance, if the trade is in uptrend or the trade is in downtrend, I look for that first. That is the first and foremost thing that I look for. So, if it is in uptrend, that will give me the idea of the kind of trade I should be looking for. If it's in a downtrend, it also gives me the idea of the kind of trade I should be looking for. So that is it. So this is how my trade actually works. So I take a trade on courses like this. There is a little bit, what is it called? Okay, let me make it big. Let me make it a little bit big. So this is how it actually looks like. This is it. So there is a movement right here. Then we come back into this movement like this. Then we move up to break structure. This is how I trade. This is how I trade. So simple. So simple. This is it. This is it. So anytime I see a thing like this, this is what I look for. Anytime I see a thing like this is what happens. This is what I do. This is the structure. This is the structure that I trade with. So in this case, we are already in the uptrend. As you can see, the market moving to the top. We are already in the uptrend. So what do I do? After I come back, I look for my structure. The first thing is to look for my structure. So I see the structure here. The structure is broken right here. So what is it? This is the break of structure. So I identify my box on whichever time frame it is. On whichever time frame, I just identify my box. So after that, after identifying my box, this is the next thing I do. I identify the high and the low of the market. The high and the low of the market. Then this is what I look for. The current low, it could be a daily high or a daily low. So let's say this is a daily low and a daily high. So I pick my daily low, which will be here. This is what I do. So my daily low is right here. Then my daily high is going to be at the top right here. This is so simple. This is so simple. You don't need a crystal ball to know this. You don't need a crystal ball to know this, that this is the high and this is the low. So that is it. Now I have identified all this. Now the next thing I'm going to be identifying is the liquidity in the market. Is there any liquidity in the market? Is there any form of liquidity in the market? Then I'm going to be looking at that. So for me to look at the liquidity for the market, I have to get my order block really drawn. So order block is always at the base of the what is it called? So this is it. My daily order block will be right here, somewhere around here. This is so simple. So this is my order block. Most of the times I'm going to be teaching this step by step so that you know how to identify an order block and all those things. But right now, specifically speaking, this is my strategy. This is the strategy I use. I have a lot of people asking me to show them my strategy. This is how the strategy is. This is it. So the next thing is that I am going to be looking for what is it called? The imbalances and all the liquidity. It is not all the time that we have any liquidity, but we could have imbalances. I'm going to teach you how to identify imbalance as well. So if you don't know it, don't worry. So after I get the high and then the low, the next thing I do is use my Gantt toolbox. My Gantt toolbox. Some people use Fibonacci. I use Fibonacci as well, but I use Gantt toolbox more with the Fibonacci. So I'm going to place my Gantt toolbox. If you have been following me, you will see that I always use my Gantt toolbox. So this is my Gantt toolbox. I'm going to put the Gantt toolbox to measure. The Gantt toolbox works for me very, very well because it tells me the premium and then the discount. The premium and then the discount zone. So the Gantt toolbox works for me very, very well. Then when I fix my Gantt toolbox this way, the next thing I'm going to be looking for is a proper entry. That is an OTE. An OTE. So for me to look for an OTE, a proper what is it called? Optimum trade entry, I use my Fibonacci. This is how my Fibonacci is. So as time goes on, I'm going to be teaching how to get my Fibonacci. So now that I have gotten this yellow part over here you are seeing, and this blue part over here you are seeing, that is what I refer to as my OTE. So what am I going to do? I am going to fix my OTE right here. My OTE is going to be right here. So this is OTE. So I'm going to put my OTE right here. OTE means that anytime the market comes into this box over here. So after I fix all these things, anything the market comes into this box over here, it is ready to just turn and move back to continue what is it called? The trade. So this is how the things work around here. This is how it is with me. So what next do I look for? Now that I have this, I have my premium, the discount entry. As far as we are going to the what is called uptrend, we have discount entry at the base. So as far as my discount entry plus my OTE is in the same zone, that is why I sometimes use only the what is it called, the Gantt toolbox. But right now, when OTE plus the discount, what is it called, the premium discount zone is together, what I do is I just put them on the line and then I delete these two to get my candlesticks very, very viewed up. So this is what happens. So I now have these two. I know that this is a very good place to take a trade. This is a very good place to take a trade. The trade is likely, most often likely to bounce off from here to continue, what is it called? To continue the movement. But sometimes it fails and then comes into the order block before continuing the movement. The market is free and the market moves around. But what you are supposed to know best is you knowing that the market is in an uptrend. No matter what be the case, this will be your shield. This will be your shield. It will be your guide. It will be a place where there is a strong wall that could not be broken. If this part gets broken, then it means that the market has changed character. Whether you like it or yes, it has changed character on any time frame. So this is what I look for. You see that the market begins to fall from here, little by little like this, little by little like this, little by little. It begins to fall and begins to do whatever it wants to do. You don't have to care about it. It will begin to do all these things little by little like this. Then it will come into my OTE. Now that is in my OTE, I have to look for the reversal pattern, which I will be talking about later on. So reversal pattern may look something like this. So we have a thing like this. It never comes to break the low, and then it goes up to break this, and then come back. Then we go and take this out. So this is what actually happens in the market. This is it. This is how it happens in the market. This is how things are in the market. So all the time, this is what you are going to be seeing in the market. So when it gets into my OTE like this, I'll be very, very vigilant to look for what is it called? A return, a symbol, a signal that will tell me this market is ready to go high. Or I just face, when it is on a higher time frame, I just face my, what is it called? My limit, my buy limit here, and then the market will just come tap into it. That case, I will get a very good entry. Instead of entering over here, I'll get a very good entry. But when it goes down from here into this part, when it does this and it doesn't break, it continues to this, but this change of character must happen here to tell us that the market is always moving up. That is why anytime at all I put a trade in my group, this is what I tell you. That is the reason why you always see the count two balls on almost all of my trade, because the count two balls gives me a very good entry, a very, very good entry. So as you can see, we touch into the line and then we move. The best entry lines that we can, the best places that we can have good entry is the 0.5%. You can put an entry right here, because sometimes the market never deep that, it never comes down that deep, and then it just returns from there. So your first entry could be here with a very good proper risk management, which I am going to be teaching in the other videos, or you can just put another one here. So the first entry is here, the second entry is here, the third entry is what I love so much, and the third entry is going to be in the middle of this, in the middle of this one, in the middle of the last line, which I always identify this way. This is not the right tool. So it tells me the middle of it all. What do I use? I don't think I have a tool that I can use here. Okay, so let's see. So that is going to be, yeah. So I divide this into two like this. So this tells me that this is where my middle is. Then the third entry is right there. The third entry is right there. So when this one fails, definitely it comes to the third entry. So sometimes it picks this one also, and pick the third one, and just to look at the amount of money you are going to be making if in case this happens. So this is it. This is basically how I trade. So this is basically the current state of the market, and this thing happens in all forms of market and all all assets and all time frames. This happens anywhere, be it the 5 minute, the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 10 minute, the daily, the weekly, the monthly. This is what happens. So when I look at a big picture, I come down, then I day trade. Mostly, I'm a swing trader, and also sometimes I day trade. I hardly scalp the market. I hardly scalp the market. So this is actually how my trade is taken. So with a lot of confidence, I know that even if I put my trade entry over here and then it comes down to break this, when it comes down to break this, then I know that the market has actually changed. We have to wait for the market to come back. So this is what actually happens. This is what actually happens in the market. So let's say we are in an uptrend. We caught this movement from here, which came down and broke structure right here, and then comes down. Instead of returning from here just like this one is doing, it does not return from there, but rather it comes to break this. When this is broken like this, we wait for the market to go back into our premium zone. Just like everything we did here, you do the same thing for this aspect. Then it means this high over here should not be taken. So we go this way, and then the market continues all the way down, like you can see. Sorry. So you see the market continuing all the way down here, like you have. Sorry about that. I'm going to redraw that very fast. So this is it. It goes up like this, come all the way down here, goes up like this, come all the way to take this one here, come into this, and then off we go again. I don't want to go that much down. So instead of us having our break of structure right here, the break of structure right here, we have this break of structure, and we are waiting for the market to just come all the way down. The market should just come all the way down here to our other block or the premium or whatsoever discount. Then it moves higher, but this time around it comes to break this. And when it breaks that, I call it the chalk. The chalk, that is what? Change of character. The chalk line or just the chalk. So this is change of character has already happened in the market, which is telling us that this market is ready to take off from another direction. So when this happens and this becomes a strong high, so this first high over here tells us how strong the movement is going to be. So that is exactly what I trade in the market. I don't actually look for any other thing from the market. This is what I trade in the market. So please let us